All right, let's jump right into this incredibly urgent explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating and honestly deeply provocative set of documents. We're looking at a confidential opportunity brief and a blueprint for a cinematic manifesto that introduces a brand new concept. It's called Income as a Service. And the sources we're diving into today frame this not just as a business opportunity, but as a literal wake-up call for the modern workforce. So let's explore the narrative these documents are building.
The manifesto opens by taking a really hard look at the world as it is right now. Think about this. Every single morning, 170 million everyday Americans wake up and go to work to support their families, right? We've built our identities, our mortgages, our kids' futures around this daily grind. For generations, the foundational social contract was pretty simple. You show up, you work hard, and you get paid. But according to the brief we're analyzing today, that contract is fundamentally breaking.
The reality outlined in these sources is terrifyingly stark. By 2030, economic researchers projected up to 100 million of those jobs are at risk of being completely displaced by automation. 100 million! To put that into perspective, that's a massive chunk of the workforce. And this isn't just about jobs being outsourced or offshored anymore. It's about roles being outright eliminated by artificial intelligence. We're looking at a displacement timeline measured in just a few short years, which obviously has huge implications for the families relying on those incomes.
Now, you might be wondering, does this apply to me? If you think this is only about manual labor, well, think again. The documents cite a Google DeepMind researcher who publicly stated there's a 99% probability that any randomly selected white-collar job can be replaced by AI within just 2 years. 2 years! That includes paralegals, accountants, office workers, the whole shebang. The very technology that promised to make us all more productive is, according to this manifesto, making human workers entirely replaceable.
And the sheer speed of this shift, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. The brief points to an estimate from Stability AI projecting that we have roughly 800 days until human cognitive labor becomes economically marginal. 800 days. And what's pouring fuel on this fire? Money. An absolute avalanche of it. A staggering $242 billion in AI venture capital was invested in just the first quarter of 2026 alone. That is more than all of 2025 combined. So the machine is moving incredibly fast.
Which brings us to the next section of the brief, titled The Great Tech Injustice: Trillions for Shareholders, Severance for Workers.
This part brilliantly illustrates a really harsh disparity. Over the last couple of decades, the tech industry championed software as a service, or SaaS. Companies like Salesforce, Adobe, Microsoft. They generated trillions in value, but almost exclusively for tech shareholders, founders, and investors. But contrast that with the reality for the displaced workers, the people whose jobs were eliminated by that exact same software. They get nothing but a severance check. Or maybe, actually, scratch that. Usually just a job retraining program for roles that literally do not exist anymore.
So, here is the absolutely crucial takeaway from the platform's founder, Rashan Turnage. His core thesis is this: the very AI that is taking your job must become the AI that pays your bills. The documents argue strongly that if AI is going to displace the worker deserves to own a piece of the machine doing the displacing.
And that core idea builds directly into the definitive solution presented in the brief, a brand new category called Income as a Service, or IaaS. Now, the documents stress that IaaS is not just another software tool you have to learn. It's not a course. It's definitely not coaching. It is a completely done-for-you platform that delivers real, operational, and 100% user-owned AI businesses to everyday people.
What's really wild here is the scale of what's being offered. The platform contains 62 proven, documented AI business models. And get this, these models are designed to require only 15 minutes of your time per week to oversee. Yes, 15 minutes. And most importantly, right from day one, the business is 100% yours. You are the actual owner, not just a user paying a subscription.
Okay, so how on earth is a 15-minute workweek actually possible? Well, we have to look at the mechanics. The IaaS platform basically functions as your entire operations team. It works like this. You select a model from their catalog, and then the platform does all the heavy lifting. They secure the domain, they write the code, they wire up the payments, and they even run the marketing. They literally handle the customer support on your behalf. You are essentially just stepping into the role of a shareholder for your very own microenterprise.
The opportunity brief also tackles how this stacks up against other proposed solutions for AI job displacement. For example, when looking at socioeconomic responses like Universal Basic Income, or UBI, the source documents make the argument that IaaS is vastly superior. Why? Well, while UBI creates cash dependency, IaaS provides full business ownership. It means you actually hold a real appreciating asset.
Furthermore, the brief points out that UBI creates a permanent dependence on government bureaucracies. IaaS, on the other hand, is completely market-driven. It's all about granting you full autonomy. The platform operates on a revenue share model with a strict cap. So once that revenue cap is hit, the business remains 100% yours, forever, securing genuine, long-term independence.
Turn's founding conviction really drives this point home. The brief positions this whole endeavor not just as some product launch, but as a movement. Empowering workers to own a piece of the AI economy isn't a charitable handout. According to this manifesto, it is absolute economic justice for the people who are being left behind.
All right, so let's get into the specific timeline outlined in the source documents. Because today is May 15th, 2026, we are currently sitting right inside the strictly limited 14-day window of what they call Founding Week. Early adopters can lock in heavily discounted entry points across 3 tiers. There's a lifetime founder tier for a one-time $2,997, an annual founder tier at $997 a year, or a monthly founding tier at $97 a month, which gets locked in for life. After this 14-day window, higher public pricing applies permanently.
Listen, the documents emphasize that you absolutely must act with urgency here. There is a hard close on May 28, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are only 400 total founding seats available across all 3 of those tiers combined. So the window to position yourself ahead of this displacement crisis is incredibly narrow. The brief makes it crystal clear this specific pricing and access level will never, ever be offered again.
The Cinematic Manifesto script concludes with a really powerful challenge, and it's the perfect place for us to wrap up our explainer today. As you look at the incredibly rapid acceleration of technology, the billions of dollars being invested, and the undeniable shifts happening right now in your own career, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Think about it. Is the AI moment happening to you or for you?